carry a single conversation. Since Darian had awoken in the bed beside hers in the infirmary, he'd been different. His crooked smile bent at the wrong angle, the sticky sweetness in his amber-coloured eyes, now a congealed mess of thoughts that warred inside of him that Khadija was aching to understand. She'd put it down to his injuries, at first, or him still feeling the effects of Anam's exorcism. Or perhaps post-traumatic stress, a lack of sleep. There were myriad reasons to explain Darian's frostiness towards her. But it was only towards her. She'd pushed aside the sting of Darian's booming laugh as he'd joked with Zaid over breakfast the day before, the way he'd casually bumped Anam's shoulder at her offer to spar once Jamila had removed Anam's stitches caused by her duel with Princess Malika, the princess who had been abducted by the jinniya Queen Bidhukh and taken to Al-Ghaib, where she had been trained as her most fearsome warrior. He seemed like the same Darian with everyone else, and yet, with her, a stranger. And she was determined to find out why. "Come up with me." She pointed at the orange-streaked sky. Darian hesitated before clambering into the basket. Khadija untied the rope tethering the balloon to the ground and leapt inside the basket before they drifted upwards. The balloon's panels hugged the breeze as they ascended the way the sails of a ship curl towards the wind. Up in the air, the true destruction of Al-Shaam lay before them. Burnt buildings and blood-stained paving. Her eyes fell to the gaping hole in the city's once magnificent golden gate, now a melted mess that was still topped with loose arrows and spears the soldiers had discarded after discovering they had no effect on the jinn army that had laid waste to the city. For a while, Khadija and Darian just stared, as if only now acknowledging how close to death they'd been at the hands of Queen Bidhukh and her jinn, aided by Vera and the Harif. The Nawab had issued a mass cleanup of the city, with a huge revelry to follow. He'd called it a miracle that Al-Shaam had survived such an attack. He'd visited her several times in the infirmary, and on each occasion, Khadija had shed the shyness that seemed ingrained in her when in the presence of men. The Nawab had showered her with praise at her courage during the battle and promised her and Abba a brand new home in Al-Shaam's upper-class district once the city had been rebuilt. He'd even gone as far as hosting a meeting with the Wazim's council members, where he'd actually listened to the Wazim's beliefs on equality, something Anam had been working tirelessly for. And yet Khadija didn't feel like celebrating. She tore her eyes from the scene below and twisted the tap of the gas canister. Hungry flames roared, and the balloon shot up, the wind pushing them off angle slightly. The deck groaned as if in protest. Khadija leant over the side of the basket to untie the ballast sacks hanging over the edge and repositioned them so that their weight would counter the harsh wind current and level the basket. "How have you been?" Even the words sounded stiff and awkward in Darian's throat, like he'd rehearsed them in his head. She sighed. "Good. Fine. And you?" He nodded. "I am a bit tired. I think I'm probably still recovering from the exorcism." "You didn't seem tired when you asked to spar with Anam." The words left her lips before she could stop them, and then, like a dam bursting, the rest spiraled out. "Or when you attended that Wazim meeting with Zaid." Darian frowned. "Or all the times you've risen early to assist the city's cleanup." His mouth upturned a fraction. "Have you been stalking me?" She glared at him. "I just want to know why you suddenly don't like me anymore." There. She'd said it, and it could never be unsaid. The words sank between them like a flightless bird.